Hello guys, welcome to MercBenzKing. As you can see, today we are here with the all new Mercedes GLC. And this is not the final production because it is still in its test phase. We are here in Sweden, in beautiful Arjeplog, 100 kilometers away from the polar circle. And in today's video I will test this GLC. We will go on the ice, see the stability, and I will also explain you all the new features. First of all, I can tell you something about the size, because it has increased 60 millimeters, that is 6 centimeters, and prominently in the trunk area. The wheelbase has also increased with 1.5 centimeters, but I will show you more differences in the interior later on. Let's have a closer look here at the front, because you can see it is completely covered in camouflage, with beautiful Mercedes stars of course, but you can already see the new design language of Mercedes. Beautiful. And if you look closer you can see it has very interesting headlights. I'm very curious to how it will look like later. So let's move over into the side, where you can notice the new proportions of the GLC. I already mentioned it is 6 centimeters longer, which is prominently in the trunk space. And yes, it has a longer tail. Amazing. The height is around the same, 1 meters and 60 centimeters in height, and I really love it from this perspective. So let's move over to the trunk area, and there I can really notice some new proportions also, especially very broad shoulders. Just look at the thickness, also with the tail light design. So let's have a look in the trunk, because it has 50 liters more trunk space. It opens beautiful alongside the lines, and if I open the cover, you can definitely notice it in the length area. Already a glimpse of the interior, but we will do that later on. So guys, let's take it for a drive, and I will show you the very stable, comfortable drive. And as you can see, I put off my jacket because we will go into the interior. And first, the rear seats, because it has increased in space. Let's go. So now we are sitting in the rear seats of the all-new GLC. And the driver's seat is in my driving position. You can see I have enough of legroom, and especially the headspace is very impressive. I can already see that it has a new panoramic roof. It is now more to the back, and the center part is also removed. It is now thinner. Amazing. On the side you can see the C-Class style, or actually S-Class style door handle with a huge button for the heated seats. You also have optionally sun blinding. Just look at the back, the cover of the seat with this headrest and also the neck, just like in the C-Class and the S-Class. So now let's go and we'll take the GLC for a drive. You can already see it has the AMG Line steering wheel. Wow, just as I expected, C-Class design interior. Let's take the GLC for a drive. I will press the button for the electronics to work and to start the engine. So this is the GLC 300D. Let's go. So I already mentioned we are in Sweden in the test track in Arjeplog, and we are driving on the ice, so actually on the sea. And amazing for the new GLC is that it has the rear axle steering in 4.5 degrees. You can only have the rear axle steering if you go for the airmatic suspension. So this one is fitted with airmatic rear axle steering, and we will test it on the road. It is amazing weather, minus 4.5 degrees. And this is the comfort package. You can already see an AMG Line steering wheel, but it also has acoustic glass. So that means double layer. And this is not the only sound isolation feature. It also has a 2mm extra foam around the center tunnel, which makes sound isolation even better. So with the sound isolation, I have to say the engine sounds a lot further away. has a beautiful panoramic roof. And this is also larger than in its predecessor. It goes a little bit further to the back. So let's take this corner in style. I will put it into Sport Plus very secretly because it is all covered. The 300D now has 600 Nm of torque, more than 265 horsepower, which is really amazing. So let's go. So let's turn off the ESP, and I know exactly where it is with the cover on. And here you can see that the ESP is off. We will go over the ice. Diagonal. And of course, with the ESP off, there is no rev limiter. But the GLC handles extremely stable on the ice. As you can see, completely diagonal. So now let's pull it back to comfort, and that's enough ice driving for now. Of course we are still on the ice, but no more drifting. So you can also press the home button and change the gauges in front of you. For example, to off-road. And don't be excited, this is not a GLC. This is just a picture of a GLE. But here you can see the angle, the hill, and that we are currently 400 meters above sea level. You can also go to the right to service to have more information, assistance. And let's go to the sport mode. Gives you a little more freedom. So guys, let's take this GLC on the real road, and therefore I will ask Peter to join us. Let's go. Alright guys, now it is time that we actually take the GLC on road, and I've got my favorite co-driver actually drive over here, Peter, and you must recognize him from our video in Vegas with the E-Class. Hi Peter.
Hi Peter.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the first test drive for you with the new GLC, the midsize SUV from Mercedes-Benz.
Perfect. It looks very shiny, of course, with the camouflage. But let's go to the interior, and I want you to, can you please explain me a lot about the GLC on road?
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Guys, as you can see, we are now in a different color interior GLC, just for the variation. And Peter, it is completely covered, I see?
Yes, the car is covered because it's a pre-production car and we cannot show the interior. But I think you will get a really good impression of the driving performance of the car here in the Arctic area nearby the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, perfect. That's what we are here for, and let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the rear axle steering. I really noticed it in the first turn already.
Yeah. Yes, the car has the driving package. It's an airmatic suspension system in combination with the rear axle steering with 4.5 degrees. So we have performance and a very good stability of the car in these conditions. So also a very high safety level in driving safety with this car.
And the wheelbase has increased with 1.5 centimeters, right?
Yes, the dimensions of the car are nearly the same as from the predecessor, but we have a longer wheelbase of about 15 millimeters, and the car overall has now 60 millimeters more, and this dimension is in the trunk. So we have a more trunk volume at about 600 liters now. It's a very good comfort with the air suspension, but you can also switch to the sports program, and then you have a very dynamic driving behavior. It feels like a limousine if you want.
And there's a new technology now for the first time that Mercedes uses, and that has to do with acoustics, right?
For the acoustics, we use some new materials in the body. So here in the area of the tunnel, we have some acoustic sheets with foam in between, and we also have some foam in other areas of the body. Driving assistance, we have the so-called assistance system generation 5. The first rollout was in the S-Class and then in the C-Class, and now we get all these features also in the GLC.
Okay. All right, Peter, thanks a lot for the explanation. And guys, thanks for watching MercBenzKing. I hope you liked the video with Peter and the all-new GLC, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Okay, good.